Oh no. No, I have this old juice I need to pour out. It's okay. We'll make it through. We'll make it through. But while we're waiting for everybody to come in, fix itself, I might have to hop off and hop back on if my connection does not get any better. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, please drop a one in the comments. You can send an emoji, whatever. I think it's working now. I see people are coming in. But if you can hear me and my fan is not too loud, can you drop me a comment really quickly to make sure, is my fan too loud? Because I can go cut it off. Is it making a lot of background noise, or is it okay? What's going on? For the people that are just joining in, can you hear me? Is it good? I want to get started, but I don't want a whole bunch of noise in the background in the audio. So I want to make sure that it's okay. Is it doing good? Is it going good? I see people are joining in. Welcome, everybody. I'm assuming you guys can hear me. I mean, you're here. But for anybody that's just joining and you do not know who I am, or you're new, hi, my name is Kendra. I'm a plant-based lifestyle strategist. I'm here to support you in understanding what you're doing to your body as far as your consumption and how to support you in healing, whether it's internally and externally. Not whether, but internally and externally, and understanding the fact that like what you're doing and how you're consuming is harming you, and understanding the fact that like if you are not aware and consciously aware of what you're consuming and how you're consuming and what you're putting in your body and what you're putting on your body, you are literally poisoning yourself and making you toxic, and that is leading you to inflammation and disease, and literally leading yourself to leaving this earth earlier and developing issues like cancer, diabetes, obesity. You're sitting here with issues with PCOS, fibroids, gut issues, whatever it's going on inside of your body. You have to understand that your body is a healing vessel, a healing mechanism. And so if your body is not healing, there's a block, and those blocks come from and they look like the way that we consume. So that's why the title for today is You Are What You Eat, because you have to understand that if you were eating chemicals, you're eating toxins, you're eating things that do not support you, have absolutely no nutritional value, you are malnourished. You have no nutritional value in your body. You are toxic on the inside. You are what you eat. And so you have to first realize the fact that these habits that you have subconsciously and consciously are your mindset. They come from how you view yourself, as well as how you view food, how you view being healthy, how you know how to be healthy. All of these things are categorized together in your subconscious as what you do far as eating. And so then your conscious thought makes the action come real. It makes you take action. So if you subconsciously think eating healthy is crappy, it sucks, you don't like doing it, if you believe in diet culture and you know that it doesn't necessarily work, but like everybody does a diet to be healthy, then you are literally going to be sitting here making and taking action towards diet culture and not supporting your body and not knowing how to support your body. And it's all because you literally are sitting here poisoning yourself and making yourself sick, because your subconscious thought is the fact that you hate diet culture and you don't want to do diets. You hate salads, and when you do diet culture, you have to eat salads. That you have to do all of these things that make you feel terrible on the inside. And so you subconsciously make your conscience take actions towards crappy foods because they are comforting to you, because they're what you have deemed as normal. And the things that society deems as normal, you have to understand that. Hold on, I have to move I have to move my camera. You have to understand the fact that like the things that people deem as normal in this box of normal for society is literally poisoning us. And you can look at society and tell that it's literally poisoning us. You walk outside and you see these people, and you can literally count 10 people and see how unhealthy they are, because out of those 10 people, probably only one person out of those 10 can take care of themselves and know how to take care of themselves and is actually healthy. Because you can look good on the outside, but on the inside you can still be toxic. You can look terrible on the outside and be terrible on the inside. Like, it can go both ways. But you do have to realize and understand the fact that like there are 650 million people that are dealing with some type of obesity going on out here. And so 650 million people on this earth are dealing with obesity. And those 650 million people aren't all sitting here choosing to be obese. These 650 million people are sitting here being misled because diet culture and what society has deemed as normal, and what has been programmed by society of telling us, hey, you need to wake up and break your fast at 8 o'clock and go eat some bacon with some ham, and then you need to go over here and eat some eggs with that, not realizing that eggs raises your cholesterol and leads you to having heart disease. bacon and any type of pig product, you have to understand that pigs do not sweat. So you are consuming an animal's meat that does not know how to expel toxins because its body literally does not sweat. And so you sit here and you consume pig products, and pigs do not sweat. So you're literally reabsorbing the toxins through the meat that they hold on to for their entire life because they never sweat. And so you don't even realize this. And your mindset is stuck on the fact that you don't want to do a diet. You don't want to eat healthier. You don't want to eat fruits and vegetables. Thank you for the gifts. And you sit here and don't even realize the fact that, like, since you don't even want to eat a fruit or a vegetable, you are literally choosing to be toxic and you're choosing to poison yourself. And so you are what you eat. You sit here and eat all this pig, all these toxins, and you consume like a pig. You don't question anything. You don't wonder about the food that you're consuming. I literally just watched a video about this woman that was eating Doritos and found something very hard and big, and I literally couldn't stitch the video because she turned off the stitches, so I screen recorded it and I'm posting a video today. She literally had a big Dorito. It was a piece, I don't know what it was, but she said it looked like a chicken and it felt like a chicken, but it was so hard you couldn't even break it, and it was in her Doritos, and she was eating the Doritos. It was like, I had been eating it. It was stale. I really didn't question it. So my question to her is, and to everybody else, first of all, do you not look at the food that you're eating? Second of all, at what point did you start questioning, like after you took the bite and was like, these chips are stale? Because I know if I buy anything and it's stale already, I'm not gonna sit there and keep eating it. And then on top of that, you pull something hard out of it, and then like she's still sitting here like she's gonna eat it, like she had no problem about the situation. And then she sat there and said that she felt bad for making the video. So in the end, I was really just shook, and that made me realize, and I have been like on that same wave, but it really just like clicked in my brain, the fact that like you're literally sitting here consuming, and I'm talking to everybody, not just her, but you're consuming and knowing there's something wrong and knowing that something is going on, and you're not questioning enough for you to stop eating it because it tastes good. And you don't even realize the fact that like these foods are literally throwing off your chemical balance to the point where you don't even have discernment enough for you to question if something is wrong with the food. You're consuming like pigs. You're consuming like animals. And when are you going to stop and change your mindset and your habits? You said, I try to go here. You got bored with it. You need recipes. I send out recipes every single week on Fridays. I actually did not set up my recipe for today. I thank goodness you said that, because I completely forgot. I had a couple recipes in mind and I forgot to send them out. But yes, I do send out recipes every single Friday. I am actually you need to get on now while you can, because I'm about to stop very shortly because I have something in the works that I'm creating that is going to become a product. But I do still send out free plant-based meals every single week for you to try and to enjoy. And if you, right now, I do have, if you book a one-on-one with me, you get a strategy session with me. You do get all of the free plant-based meals that I have sent out for the year, because I started in January and I've been sending them all the way until now, which is June now. So that's a lot of recipes. And then you also, as well, you get that one-on-one session with me. You get my Purge the Poison ebook that is showing you common toxins that are inside of your food that are going to support you in understanding how to shift and read your ingredients to shift your habits, so that you're not going to the grocery store and buying a bunch of crap, but rather buying things that are going to support you, and you still get to enjoy snacks. And then you also, as well, I lost my train of thought. When my Purge the Poison ebook, oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh my goodness, what's the other thing? Hold on, I'm about to pull this up. I lost my train of thought, y'all. That was so interesting. I don't know why in the world I lost my train of thought, but I did. I did. That was, let me see. Look, I gotta get on my notes. I lost my train of thought. I really don't remember what. Oh, that's what it is. And then you also get my foundational to a transition into a plant-based lifestyle masterclass that is going to support you and show you why you need to do this for yourself, and what you need to do, and how you can step into that space, because it's so vital for you to understand why you have to switch to go plant-based, or at least to go back to the basics to allow your body to be healing and resetting. Because majority of society does not understand the fact that like diet culture, supplements, prescriptions, all of these things are literally just masking the issue. They're momentary fixes, and they're not actually fixing the issue. Especially, thank you for all the follows, guys, especially if you were sitting here taking prescriptions, you're taking supplements, because no prescription can heal you. And I was watching Barbara. I don't know if y'all, I don't remember her last name, honestly, off the top of my head right now. But I feel like everybody has seen Barbara on TikTok. Barbara is, she's a holistic, like, health, like, PhD woman, like a doctor, whatever she is, whatever her title is. I don't really know, and I don't want her to do her, yeah, Barbara O'Neill, thank you. I don't want to do her a disservice, but she is very educated, and she is literally amazing at what she does. And so I take a lot of her information, and I love watching her videos. And I was watching one today though. She was talking about the fact that, like, you go to the doctor, you get a prescription, and then you get this prescription, and they never can tell you she has I know she has a brand new book. I've never bought any of her products, so like that's something that's like on my mind. But like I just watched so much of her free content already that like it just absorbs. But any which way, she was talking about the fact that you take a prescription and these doctors prescribe you this prescription, and you never heal from these prescriptions. These doctors can never guarantee or tell you healing, because the fact that like all it does is sit there and move the issue that you're having going on inside of your body to another part of your body and causes another issue. So you're sitting here trying to heal your diabetes, and let's say that you maybe do go down from having to take insulin so you no longer insulin resistant, which I have not heard anybody have to do that when they're on some type of insulin, but just just a fake scenario. So let's say that you've been taking insulin and all this other stuff, not realizing the fact that like the insulin is affecting your body in more ways than one. So now your digestive system is off, your gut is off. Literally insulin has pork in it. And so like, why does insulin have pork in it? And I looked that up the other day, and I was looking at the ingredients because I was like, what is insulin? And insulin literally has animal products in it. Why? If this is supposed to be medication, like, it makes absolutely no sense to me. And so you're sitting there injecting pig inside of you. So now you develop heart disease and high cholesterol. You're sitting there reabsorbing the toxins from that pig because, like I said, pigs do not sweat. And so you have to realize that you are what you eat. You are what you consume. If you were sitting here consuming toxins, you are toxic. Regardless of how society is deemed, oh, everybody's toxic in these relationships nowadays. All this younger generation is toxic. Not even realizing the fact that, like, all of y'all are toxic if you eat Doritos. If you're all of you are toxic if you eat hot Takis. All of you are toxic if you keep sitting here and eating a bunch of crap that you don't even know how to read the ingredients that have citric acid. Titanium dioxide and citric acid is literally made from black mold. And you've been congested for 2 months. What is your lifestyle? How do you consume? Because we have to realize the fact that like our mindset is completely off when it comes to what is actually healthy and supporting our body and taking care of our body. Because for instance, if you were congested, if you were sitting here constipated, if you were sitting here having any issues going to the bathroom, being stable, being regulated, being balanced, developing diseases, there is an imbalance in your body, and your body is not healing the way that it needs to be. And so that means that you are not giving your body everything that it needs to be healing. There's a block. You're not giving your body the nutrients that it needs. You're not supporting your body the way that it needs to be. And so what is your mindset around being healthy? Are you believing the my plates and the food pyramids, even though they keep redoing them over and over again? Because one thing that I say, and I have like really realized to myself, just like going in my little like mental inventory and talking to myself, you do realize that the people that sit there and actually do like raw diets, they go, not raw, I don't like the word diet, but like raw lifestyles, they eat their fruits and vegetables on a regular, they're actually healthy and taking care of their body, they look good, they feel good, and they're truly supporting themselves. They never have to change how they're consuming, because fruits and vegetables are a stabilizer when it comes to healing and being healthy and giving you nutrients. But these people that are above us, that make these my plates, that make these food pyramids, they have to revamp each one, because they just started the my plate when Barack Obama and his wife were in office. She started that, but the food pyramid has been redone at least 2 or 3 times. Why do you have to redo something that is supposed to be the balance of nutrition if the people that are consuming it are not changing? People on this earth are not changing because our diet, our our natural design is not changing. We evolve as people, but we usually evolve because of how toxic we are doing, how toxic our earth is, and what we're consuming and what we're doing to ourselves. And so you have to sit there and question, why are you telling me to eat this if you're going to go back in a year or two and tell me that I can no longer eat this? Why are you telling me to eat dairy or consume dairy with at least 2 meals a day when you also have come out and told me in many scientific journals that dairy causes inflammation, can be literally filled with all kinds of growth hormones and other issues, antibiotics, because these animals are sick and they're literally making these cows pregnant, and then they're taking their calves away from them. So that literally makes you sick because they're imbalanced. Their hormones are being thrown off because they're not even being able to give their babies what they need. They're literally sitting here milking these cows with machines, allowing them to literally sit here and be unhealthy and be unhappy, and you are consuming the meat, the milk, the cheese, everything from these animals. You are what you eat. These animals are sad and sick. You are being sitting here sad and sick. Let's just be completely honest. You look at life and you look at how things are. Are you consuming as an optimist? Thank you for the follow. Or are you consuming as a pessimist? Because I can tell you from looking at the way that you're consuming, if you're eating this meat with these sad animals and you're believing that it's organic, even though you really don't, you cannot trust these companies. There are so many different loopholes with our food system that you literally cannot tell if it's organic, if it's non-GMO, if these are antibiotic-free animals. They can literally slap anything on these labels because there's not enough regulations. There are too many loopholes, and they know this because they pay lawyers so that they can get away with these things. And then maybe they pay a fine, maybe if they mislabel something and it's not correct, but they still get away with the fact that they are poisoning you and don't have to tell you. And so you have to realize the fact that, like, we have such negative habits when it comes to the way that we consume. And it's because our mindset is negative. It's because our mind is not stable. And your gut and your brain are connected. So if you have any kind of gut issues and you're suffering from any kind of gut issues, you have to realize the fact that your gut is probably more likely than not off. Your gut is not producing enough acid, the correct pH and the acid that it needs so that you can digest correctly. And it starts with your food. If you're sitting here eating hot Takis, you're sitting here eating your hot Cheetos, you're sitting here eating ramen, you're sitting here eating all the sugary food, your gut biome is going to be off. If you are sitting here not cleansing and releasing as normally as you should, your gut biome is going to be off. And like I just said, if your gut is off, your brain is off. Look at how society is. I literally did research the other day. They were talking about the fact that, or not talking about, but they're doing studies now. Since the pandemic ended in 2023, now they're doing all of their, looking back and seeing how everybody is, and they're doing all their studies. They have literally said that people between 18 to 34, they're going from mental illness being at, I think, like 25-30% to now it's ramped all the way up to 50%. For people that are 35 all the way to 44, it has ramped up between, I think, the same amount. Like, I think it was like 30 to 45%, and it's gone all the way up to wait, did I say that right? No, I think for the 30s to 40s, it was around 25 to 30. So I said that wrong. So for 18 to 34, it was around, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I think it was higher than what it was in later in life. And so either way, we have to understand that both categories of people have ramped up to 50%. We were in between the 20s and 30s, and now everybody has gone up to 50% far as mental illness, chronic illness, mental illness, chronic illnesses, and stress. All three have gone up to 50%. And then on top of that, like, this study was done from 2019 till 2023. That's not even a whole, what is it, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23. That's not even a whole, I was gonna say, that's not even a whole century. That's not even a whole century. And so we have to sit here and realize, at what point are we going to start questioning why everybody's so mentally ill? Because what was majority of society doing when they were at home? Because most people, there were some people, but most people were not sitting at home taking care of themselves like they were supposed to. I had just started my health journey in 2020. I was doing most of my research in 2020. I had started working out every single day between 10 to 10:30, 10:45-ish. Either which way, by 10:45, I was working out. I was doing what I needed to do because I was at home. And so you have to sit here and realize, at what point are you going to look at your habits and what you have going on in your life and say, everything around me is not supporting me. I have been a pessimist. I have been putting my health on the back burner, and I'm going to support myself. What do you do? What did I do to shift my health? I'm going to be showing you and teaching you how I got into the correct mindset to shift my health. I'm doing it on January 23rd. I'm hosting a masterclass that is going to support you in getting out of the space of consuming like animals and treating yourself like less than, because we're stressed out, we're overworked, we're mentally unstable. And it's all because of how we are subconsciously viewing the world and what we're doing and how we're consuming, because we have been programmed to do these things, and it's not our fault. But what it should be, our mission is to shift and to change, and it starts with us becoming aware and learning how to shift our mindset, because once you shift your mindset subconsciously, consciously, you're going to make the actions that are going to support yourself. But it starts with you becoming aware and changing what you're doing, because that's what I did. I became aware of the fact that, like, I do not have to sit here with asthma. I don't have to sit here with chronic inflammation, because I had literally was suffering from knee pain in 5th grade. I literally was sitting here, I developed asthma in high school. I was told by 22 I was gonna have to have a knee surgery if I didn't quit playing sports. I was sitting here mentally unstable, literally in and out of depression episodes, always anxious, never diagnosed or taking any prescriptions, having painful menstrual cycles, literally sitting here taking prescriptions for my painful menstrual cycle like 5 days ahead of time, taking so many pills to make sure that I wasn't in pain and was still in pain, and not realizing the fact there was a hormonal imbalance, not realizing the fact that, like, I wasn't taking care of my body ahead of time, so that when my cycle came, I was prepared and ready. And so I started to understand that, like, shifting your life starts with your mindset, and shifting your life starts with you taking care of yourself and wanting to put your health on the front line, not believing diet culture. I am currently right now doing I do juice more fruits than vegetables. I have juiced cucumber, or cucumbers are a vegetable, so I mean a fruit. So yeah, I usually do fruits. I don't really juice a lot of vegetables. It's usually fruits. But right now I am doing a cleanse. So, like, I'm doing only, like, I've only been eating fruits since Tuesday. I've been eating fruits and nuts. I have been giving myself the exception of nuts, because I've just bought some already peeled sunflower seeds, and I really love sunflower seeds. So I was like, I'm gonna give myself the exception of nuts. But, like, I have not been eating anything else besides just, like, raw fruits and vegetables, and it's been a really good journey. It's been really nice. I had gained weight, so, like, I was worried about if it was either muscle mass or it was me not releasing and resetting like I needed to. So I did a reset and a cleanse, and this is the journey of it. I think I'm gonna do it what's tomorrow, because Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be 5 days. So I don't know if I'm gonna do 5 or 7 days, but we'll see. If I get to the 5th day and I'm like, I can do this a little bit longer, I might do it for 7 days. I'm reading y'all's comments. Hold on one second. You said the U.S. is great at expensive treatments. It's not good at the basics. Yeah, the U.S. loves to give us expensive treatments, and we sit there and think that that's the best way for it to do, is because it's expensive. The doctor told me I should do it and all this stuff. But these doctors are programmed to make us sick, and these doctors are programmed to sell us the highest thing. These doctors are also programmed to make a buck off of your illness. And so you have to realize that they go through these programs for a reason, and then they keep doing these programs and not changing them, but they give them all of these tests to make sure that they're doing it the way, to the book and the code of what they want. Because at the end of the day, if you're sick, they're making more money. If you're ill, you're not mentally stable. If you're ill, your systems are going to be off, and you're leading yourself to leaving this earth earlier and earlier. And then, God forbid, let you be hospitalized for a couple of months. They just racked up a couple $1,000s off of you. Like, you stay in there for a week or two and you don't racked up $10,000 because they can't figure out what's going on with you. Maybe you sit there and you have an issue with your kidneys or diabetes or whatever else. Now they done racked up 10,000 plus. And you're sitting there not realizing the fact that, like, you do not have to keep doing what they're telling you to do. If they tell you that you're pre-diabetic, if they tell you that you have insulin resistance, you don't have to sit here and take prescriptions to heal that. If they tell you you're iron deficient, you don't have to take prescriptions to do that. The diagnosis is not end all be all, life or death. You don't have to sit there and take this as a life sentence. You do accept the fact that they have told you something is off, and that means that you have an imbalance, and then figure out how are you going to shift and heal, because they can never tell you that you're going to heal. They can never promise you healing. And so we have to get out of that and realize Dr. O'Neill suggested a supplement for congestion, and I'm 90% better. No, I'm never saying that you cannot take supplements, and I don't know if she's still in here, but I'm not saying that you can't take supplements. The problem is the fact that people don't eat right and then want to take a supplement. The problem is the fact that people don't eat right and then they want to do diet culture, or they want to take a laxative, and don't sit here and reassess, what have you been doing? Like, unless you are literally sitting here, the only way that I can think of like an issue with you having to sit here and take something and you're not eating correct, I mean, you're eating correctly, is usually with pregnant women, because pregnant women have a lot of issues with constipation. We know this. That's the only time that I can think of somebody being constipated and struggling, because they have other hormones going on inside of their body. But you naturally walking through your day by day, you should not be having to take a supplement because you're congested or you're constipated or you're having like what other issues inside of your body. You should be able to get back to your health through the food that you're consuming. Now, if you need a quick fix or something like that, that is going to mask the issue because it's not going to help it heal, it's going to come back, take a supplement and don't change your ways and see how it comes back and it doesn't change anything, because that's what's going to happen. You said 59, just had a colonoscopy. I was told I had diverticulitis. I have somebody in my family that has that. You said I have lost 12 pounds eating clean. That's odd. That's absolutely amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Yes, cow's dairy is that's terrible for us. Terrible for us. It's terrible for us. You said I buy from a rancher behind me. If I can't get from him, I don't buy meat. Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the way to go. Like, I don't suggest people eating meat, because it's just like there's so many risky different things, because it's like you have to do all of these. I have all these questions, and you have to do all these tests and all these things. Like, what kind of grass do they have? Like, it's just so many questions. I don't personally do it. Like, I could go to the farmer's market, get familiar with the farmer. But me personally, it was easier for me just to go plant-based, because even if you are a meat eater, you do have to understand that, like, we overconsume meat. And so, like, and I'm not speaking just like, oh, you're a meat eater, don't do that. But, like, I used to be a meat eater. I used to eat dairy. I overconsume meat. I overconsume dairy. I used to love me some eggs. And I realized that eggs raise your cholesterol and they do not support you. And on top of that, like, the meat is so tainted and dangerous nowadays. It's inflammatory, and we overconsume meat to the point where we make ourselves sick. And so we don't view it as how it used to be back in the day, where people would eat meat maybe as celebration, maybe once a month. Like, they didn't eat it as commonly as we do now. And so you look at society and you see how we are. We're inflamed. We're diseased. These people are not being able to function the way they need to. They're mentally unstable. There are so many different people walking around here crazy. And you know that, because as soon as you go outside, you're like, are these people losing their mind? Yes, they are losing their mind because they're malnourished. These people are actually losing their minds. And so we have to realize there's a reason why there's generational curses being passed down about the fact that we're literally breeding crazy generations, crazier and crazier. We're sitting here saying these people literally have no morals, but we have no boundaries when it comes to food. So yeah, they have no morals. Yeah, we consume like pigs. That's the reason why everybody acts like an animal. And so when are we going to shift the way that we consume and how we do it? And so it makes absolutely no sense that we don't know how to take care of ourselves and we don't know how to heal. You said, so I'm healing from a chronic, soon this supposed to be inflammation or disease, and they want me to get surgery, but I don't want to. It's painful. There's one thing that I say, that for the people that are being told and suggested to do surgery, you have to think about this and you have to observe, because it's a saying and people like to make a joke about it, but I don't think it's a joke, because from observing, from witnessing in person and scientific fact, when they cut you open once, they're going to keep cutting you open for the rest of your life. And so you have to sit there and you have to wonder, do you want to be cut open for the rest of your life? Because once you get cut open one time, they're going to keep cutting you open for the rest of your life. So when you think about that, regardless of what you're going through, do you want that for yourself, or do you want to feel and figure out how to heal yourself naturally so that you don't have to be cut open? You can keep everything the way that it is inside of you internally and naturally heal, because it's possible. You said, what do you think I should do? I have schizophrenia, but I think it can be healed. I think it can be healed as well, because as well. I said as well, but as well. I'm trying to think of. I made a video a while back, and I can't remember if it's on. No, it was on epilepsy. It wasn't on schizophrenia, because I was trying to think. I was like, was it on schizophrenia or epilepsy? But it was on epilepsy. But I do have a herbal PDR. But you have to understand that, like, for instance, for you, you have schizophrenia. Food is going to affect your mental health like no other. And so if you have schizophrenia and you are still eating meats, you're consuming dairy, I would suggest you cut all of that off and you start to go raw. You don't have to quit cold turkey if that is not something for you, because I don't suggest people do something to put themselves in a stressful state. But if you know that you can do it and you're ready for a change and you're ready for a shift, that is what I suggest for you. And if you need help on how to do that for yourself, then I can support you. And like I said earlier, I don't know if you were on here, but I do have a deal right now where if you book a one-on-one with me, you get strategy calls with me, you get my Purge the Poison ebook so you can understand the toxins inside of your food, as well as the fact that you get my foundation to a transition to a plant-based lifestyle that is going to give you the what you need to do, why you need to do it, and how you get into the space so that you can start doing it for yourself. Because there's one thing that like is common between like epilepsy, schizophrenia, any mental illness that you have going on, any type of illness going on inside the body in general, rather, let me just rephrase that. There is a link between your gut, your brain, and stability. So there's an instability in your gut, and your gut gets back stabilized through your food. And the same thing if you are on any prescriptions, medications, because Barbara O'Neill was talking about that in that video as well, for the people that are sitting here, taking these prescriptions and not realizing that it makes another issue. So you sit here, you take something for your liver, you take something for your kidneys, it gives you things like, and they're doing more studies to realize the fact that these prescriptions are leading people to schizophrenia, they're leading people to having gut issues, they're leading people to have high blood pressure and heart disease. So you're taking a prescription for high blood pressure and it's giving you heart disease. You're taking a prescription for heart disease and it's giving you schizophrenia. Like, you have to understand that like illness is not being healed. All it's doing is being moved around your body. And so if you want to heal, it starts with the food that you are consuming. But you have to get into the mindset to stay in that space, because if you're not in the mindset to think that like this is going to support me, but rather you're sitting here like, I don't want to do this, I really would hate to do this, I don't want to eat a salad every single day, and that's what you view as healthy, you're in the wrong mindset, and you need support getting out of that mindset. And I can help you, because I was in that space of thinking that like eating a salad was how you be healthy, starving yourself is how you're healthy, sitting here eating raw chicken was how I was going to be healthy, not realizing the fact that like only thing that you were addicted to is not the meat, it's the seasoning. And on top of that, like my love for milk was coming from the fact that like I just love cereal and I loved having, my sweets with milk and things like that. And there's so many alternatives to milk. And so once I shifted my mindset around it and understanding the fact that like I was not healing in the space that I was at, so there had to be an imbalance and something needed to change, my life changed. I mentally shifted from that pessimistic mindset of nothing is going to work, that I'm always going to be this way, that I'm always going to be sick, I'm going to have knee surgery by 22, I'm never going to be supported, I can't do squats because my knee always hurts. And now here I am at 25, because at the time that I was finding all this out, I was 18 and 19. I'm 25 now. I have no knee pain. I have literally lost over 40 pounds, and that's not even included the weight that I have just lost from this cleanse that I'm doing. I have literally lost over 40 pounds. I no longer have any knee pain. I used to have to wear 2 knee braces. I don't even know where those knee braces are. I have not worn those knee braces since like 2018, 2019. I literally, and I run now. Like, I run for fun. I do not like running, and I have never liked running, but now I have so much energy that I'm getting to the point now where I'm trying to start sprinting for 5 minutes. I've gotten to sprinting for 3 minutes. I'm trying to get to 5 minutes. And you have to understand that's all because I've released inflammation and I changed my lifestyle of how I consume. And I'm not raw plant-based. Don't get me wrong. I still cook food and I make everything that I used to love in the way that I used to eat. So I make steaks, I make chicken, I make pastas. I just made a fish sandwich the other day. I literally make everything that I love in a plant-based form. But it started with me resetting and releasing and cleansing my mind and cleansing my body. And once I got into that space, like now, I can sit here and do a cleanse for some days on end and not suffer. I can realize and recognize the fact that when I'm in balance, so that I can release and reset myself. Because like I said, I didn't know if I had gained weight from my weight training or if I had gained weight because I hadn't done a release and a cleanse for a while. So I said, regardless of what the outcome, what it came from, the outcome is going to be, I'm going to get back down to the weight that I was, because my birthday's coming and I don't want to gain any weight, regardless if it's muscle or not. I like where I'm at. I feel good. I feel healthy. And I know that once I get back to where I was, because at first, when I first started this lifestyle, I was up at 220. The lowest I could get was 190. When I get around 195, that's when the knee pain comes. And that's because I'm inflamed. My body cannot handle all of that weight. And then on top of that, like, It's not healthy to be sitting here with all of this excess fats, because if you do not know, when you have excess fat going on inside of your body, and not saying that I'm Miss Skinny Mini, like I have no fat on my body, but like I don't have an overload of excess. You have to realize the fact that toxins store inside of your fat cells, if you do not know this. And when toxins store inside of your fat cells and they're stuck there, and because they have nowhere to go, because your body does not know what to do with the fat, it does not know what to do with these toxins, because it tries to store your fat in non-vital spots of your body. So it goes to your arms, it goes to your face, it goes to your thighs, it goes to your calves, it goes to your lower belly, all these places that you don't have any vital organs. But when you have no longer any space for it to go in the non-vital parts, that's when it starts to go to your organs, and you get fatty liver, you develop heart disease, things start to leak inside of your blood system. That's the reason why your kidneys can't filter your blood the way they need to. Your liver is functioning overtime because your liver filters out toxins. And so you're sitting here wondering why you're developing diseases, and why you're developing this, and why you're sick now, and you've never been sick, and you've eaten this way all your life. It's because you have literally sat here and built up toxins inside of your body over the years, never realizing the fact that, like, you don't exercise, and if you do exercise, you never release and cleanse the way that you need to. And then on top of that, since you're never releasing and cleansing, you're constantly piling on different types of toxins in your fat cells, and your body has no way to expel it, because it's reading it as something that maybe your body can use later on, because your body is used to using and absorbing nutrients, and it knows this toxin is a foreign particle. And since it has no nutrients from those toxins, it says, well, maybe we'll use it later on. Maybe we won't have any food, so then I can use that later. And you never fast. You never cleanse. And so it never uses it. And so what happens? It never releases it and expels it, because it can't really use it. But that's how your body views these toxins, because it's used to using and absorbing nutrients. So it sits there and wonders, at what point am I going to be able to use this? We'll see. And it never happens. And so then you develop diabetes. Then you develop gut issues. You have PCOS symptoms. You have fibroids and cysts. And you're wondering, where did this come from? Nobody in your family has fibroids. Nobody in your family has cysts. Nobody in your family has fertility issues. And you look at society and you see men and women currently today are suffering with fertility issues like no other generation. And we're looking at these women, especially women that are in their late 30s, 40s, some even in their early 30s, that are literally sitting here sick, ill, and are poisoning themselves. Thank you for the follow. And it's all because of how we are consuming. And they're being told to do hysterectomies, have surgeries, take birth control, which are throwing off their hormones. And if you're having a hysterectomy, you do realize that you are literally completely throwing off your internal balance, because you have to have all of your parts. I don't care what they tell you. If it's a non-invasive surgery, if they tell you that it's not going to be detrimental to you, they tell you you can remove your gallbladder. Why in the world do you believe there's anything in your body that can be removed and there's not going to be a backlash? Why in the world do you believe that there is something in your body that has absolutely no function and no purpose? Come on, like, know your authentic design. The Most High made us perfect. That's one thing that people do not understand. And I'll get to y'all's comments in a second, because I see y'all's comments. People do not understand the Most High made you perfect. You can look at yourself now and be like, well, I'm not perfect. We know that, because sin is in this world. And so when man entered in this world and you become an actual thought, a person, and you were birthed, you were no longer perfect. But when you were a thought, an idea, and a creation, you were made perfectly. Our body was designed perfectly. Regardless of how you come out, you were designed perfectly. Once you enter and you are becoming a person, a seed inside of your mother, and you are ready to curate, I don't know what to call it, but to incubate yourself inside of your mother until it's time for you to be birthed, that's when you start to develop all of the issues. Hi, how are you? All of the issues. So if your mother has toxins stored inside of her, that's when you start to develop asthma. Your mother has toxins stored inside of her. That's how you get type 1 diabetes. Your mother has toxins stored inside of her fat cells, and you absorb that. She has microplastics inside of her fat cells, and you absorb that as a fetus. Now you're sitting here and you have a third finger. You have a sixth finger. I said a third finger, like we don't have 5 fingers. You have a sixth finger on one hand. You grew another toe. All of these things are because of the habits and the actions that we take as people. And maybe you come out of your mother and you're perfectly fine and you're deemed as normal, but you still have those genes and those habits. And so genetically, diseases are not passed down. What is passed down is these terrible habits that we have when it comes to how we consume and what we do to our body and how we use chemicals in our air, on our body. And then we sit here and wonder why we develop things that nobody in our family, nobody else in our family has. It is because we are literally toxic. When are we going to stop being toxic? When are we going to shift our habits and our health? And that starts with you getting in that mindset and understanding how you're poisoning yourself, understanding how you are literally making yourself imbalanced because you have no boundaries when it comes to your own body. And regardless of you saying all day, I care about myself, I love my body, I love myself. If you are not changing the way that you're consuming so that you are healthy, you don't love yourself enough. You're not loving on yourself enough. And you have to show yourself love better than what you're doing. And that starts with you making a change. And so you have to understand that, like, we are stressing ourselves out and we don't even realize the fact that most of us have been in fight or flight mode since before we were even teens. And it's all because of the food that we were eating. We're in fight or flight mode from several different things, but food is a stemming point of why. And we don't even realize that because we don't know how to take care of our body. We don't know how to do a mental inventory. We don't even understand the point of stress is more than just you going to work and you hating the job. Stress is more than your kids getting on your nerves. Stress is more than you just sitting out here and not having enough time to take care of yourself and not knowing and when you can, the next time you're going to be able to do your hair. And stress is not you just sitting here and not being able to be active. Stress looks like you sitting here eating a bunch of food that is making you mentally unstable. Stress looks like you sitting here not realizing the fact that your gut is off, so now you're mentally off. Stress looks like you not knowing how to take care of your body, so you have literally been malnourished for years. That's what stress looks like. And that fight or flight mode that you have been in because you have been stressed out is internally aging your organs. And so you have to sit here and realize, they are cutting people open and realizing the fact that they are aging internally 3 times their external age. People are sitting here with organs that are in their 60s and they passed away in their 30s. How? Because they're internally aging themselves with how they're stressing themselves out with their habits. We have to change our mindsets. We have to change our habits. There is nothing in society that is normal, that fits in that box of normal, eating meat, eating dairy, and doing all of these things that what we see on TV and how we've consumed as generationally, that is supporting our bodies. And we can see that because society is ill. We are sick. We are diseased, and it's only getting worse. And so sit here and take that and realize and question, what is the agenda? What do they want from us? They want $1 and you're $. They want a consumer and you're a consumer. They want people who question and who don't question anything and consume like animals. And what do? You don't question anything and you eat like a pig. You eat any and everything that's in front of you and you don't question as long as it's food. And so you have to change the way that you view health. Put your health on the front line instead of on the back burner and realize you deserve better. And if you want better for yourself, it starts with your mindset. And if you are not tapped into how to change your mindset and how you are going to do this and you want a strategy, you need to be on that masterclass on June 23rd. It's happening at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it's going to support you in understanding how to shift your mindset like I did. And it's coming straight from my strategies from science. It's coming from what I did for myself and showing you how easy it can be to step into the lifestyle that you need to support yourself so that you can be healthier. You can choose the healthier options and you can start healing. But it starts with you shifting how you view food. It starts with you shifting how your mind consciously is a pessimist into the optimism and the positivity that can happen with you shifting your lifestyle. But it starts with you wanting that for yourself. Nobody can want this for you. You have to want it for yourself. Nobody can want you to be healthy and make you be healthy without you wanting it for yourself. So if you want to shift, all the links are on my Instagram and my Facebook and on my YouTube. And if you just want me to send you the link, you can DM me and I'll send you the link directly. And it literally has a whole landing page that will tell you everything that you need to know about what's going to go on in the class, what you're going to learn. Check that page out if you have any more questions, or if you have any questions right now I can answer. Go ahead and ask, obviously. And if you're watching this later on, I post all of my lives on YouTube. So go subscribe to my YouTube if you have not already, just in case I take TikTok away from us or whatever. I'm going to read some of your comments and then I'll get back. You said, Right, it's all about the diet. How do I gain weight without means? Cause I power lift too. Oh, I'm not Miss Skinny Minnie. Like I told you, like literally, it's not hard to either maintain a weight or to gain weight on a plant-based diet. If you're raw, you have to eat more food. If you want to keep the amount of weight that you have or gain more weights, you have to eat more food. That's just what it is, because we sit here and realize, and we know the fact that we can't sit here and eat a whole bunch of food all day long when you are on this normalized diet of what is normal in society, this normal diet culture that we have, because you know you'll be overweight, you'll be obese, and it's not going to support you. But when you are eating raw fruits and vegetables, when you're eating real whole foods like you need to, you can eat more. And I do eat more. I don't necessarily eat 3 meals a day like they suggest to us. I usually only eat about 2 to 1. Usually it's more on the one side. But when I am eating, it's a big meal. And then on top of that, I eat snacks in between the day. I'm snacking on things that I like. And that's why I said that I hadn't done a reset and a cleanse in a while. So I didn't know if it was time for me to reset and cleanse. And that's the reason why I had gained weight, or if it's because I would have been weight training. And so I was gaining, weight from the muscles. But either way, I know that I had not done a cleanse in a while. So I went back to cleansing, and that's what I'm doing right now. You said I'm on day 6 and I'm so emotional, battling cravings. See, I went through that. I went through that when I first. See, I don't even know if I was emotional, honestly. But I know that people do suffer from that. But when I first went through a cleanse, I wasn't like, I was pretty happy. Honestly, I was pretty happy going into the lifestyle. I was super, super hungry by the third day, but I wasn't emotional. But I can say recently, I don't know if you're still on here, but when I started on Tuesday, I did a fast for 24 hours. And I did a dry fast for 20. I did a full fast for 24 hours of like foods. That second day, because right, Wednesday when I was out and about, I just kept feeling off. Like it wasn't a bad day, but I just kept feeling like I kept like trying to go into a sad spot, like catching myself and being like, why do you want to be sad? Because I have grown so much mentally. So like now I can catch myself. And literally I catched myself, and I was sitting there questioning, and I was asking myself, like, are you okay? Like, are you feeling good? Are you all right? Sitting there taking a mental inventory. And once I did that and I took that mental inventory, I realized the fact that like I have been so spoiled when it comes to me consuming and not aware of how I was consuming, that now my brain is telling me that like I'm spoiled, I want to eat. And it's kind of like how a child is when they're sitting there whining and complaining because they say that they're hungry, but they just ate and they just want food. And so that's how I was. Like I'm just sitting there in my head just saying like, why did you do this? Like, why did you get to this space? Why didn't you do this earlier? Why did you wait until now? And now your birthday is coming. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm not even in a negative space. Like, why are all these negative thoughts coming? And so I had to check myself. I had to get it together real quick, because I was like, no, we're not going to do this. And so I was sitting there and I was thinking, and I was like, it's because you've gotten too spoiled when it comes to eating cooked food. You haven't been eating enough fruits and vegetables, because I try to wait, especially like around this season, so it's not that in between season where they have all of these, fruits that were from the winter and they've been freezing them in the freezer and then they've been putting it out, to getting like my watermelon and everything else so I can get more fresh fruit, because this is the season where it's watermelon season. I love doing cleanses when it's watermelon season. And so I had realized that I had waited too long and I had gotten spoiled, and my mental is spoiled. And so that one day of me checking myself, now here I am, and what is it? It's Friday. Thursday I was cool. Today I'm cool. And I'm going to make it the rest of the time. I really think I'm going to go 7 days. But it starts with you becoming aware, and you have to become aware mentally of what you're thinking and how your mindset is. Because if you go into this lifestyle and you think it's going to be a diet and you're negative about diets, you're a pessimist when it comes to you doing cleanses, that's what your mindset is going to be, especially when you get hungry and you have cravings, because we are spoiled as a society. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you being spoiled with gifts and everything else, but when it comes to food, we have no boundaries. And we have to stop being boundaryless. I don't know if that was the word. What is it? We have to establish boundaries when it comes to food. I don't know what the word is, and I'm just thinking of, because I don't think boundaryless is a word. But we have to sit here and realize the fact that you have to set boundaries in every aspect. Relationships, the way you consume, what you're doing for yourself, what you're putting on your body, how you eat. Everything has to have a boundary. And so you said, wow, you said I don't have an Instagram. That's okay. I have YouTube. I have TikTok, like you're here now. I have Facebook. you would like the link, please DM me. If you are still in here, DM me if you want the link. Noble, if you will be there, please DM me if you would like the link. That masterclass is priced at $111. It will not be priced at $111 after that masterclass. It will go up. You get a replay, so you'll get to keep that lifetime replay so that you can watch it and reset yourself whenever you need to get back to that space. If you need to just recap and go over what we learned that day, it is priced at $111. You can get it Klarna, Affirm, Afterpay. And for the people that are sitting there, and there's a lot of people that sit there and they're like, oh, that's just so expensive. Like, I don't know if I can do that. You have to look and you have to realize, if you eat fast food or you go to restaurants every single week, at least, if you spend at least $20 and you go out to eat 2 to 3 times a week, you spend over $10,000 in food. And so you'll spend over $10,000 in food that makes you inflamed, that keeps you sick, that makes you ill. But somebody tells you that you have something, so a way for you to heal. You have a system, a strategy. You have support in educating yourself so that you can be better and you can feel better and you can look better. And now you're sitting here like that's too expensive. You spend hundreds of dollars on clothes that do not last because they're made of plastic, and microplastics are leaching into your body. But you don't question that. But you want to question somebody who's trying to help you and support you. And so I'm not jumping on anybody, but I just want us to change our mind and to realize and to gather our thoughts and understand how unstable we are. And you will spend your hard-earned money with people and companies that do not care about you, but people who actually will care and support you and want you to help you shift. Because if all of us band together and learn how to take care of our body, you realize how healthy the next generation is going to be. Do you realize how many healthy habits we're going to pass down to these people will stop mistreating us and poisoning us and using us as a consumer and a dollar sign, and we'll start to realize that we can take care of ourselves and we can support ourselves as a community, as a whole, as a one. But it starts with us all, each individually in our homes, learning how to take care of ourselves and establishing the habits that support us so that we can share that knowledge and we can pass it down generationally, and our kids and ourselves can be leaders by example, rather than us telling our kids and other people, because I don't have any children, but eventually in the future, hey, you need to eat healthy, you need to stop eating all that crap, you need to stop eating all that junk. But then you go and you do the same thing and you eat chips all day, you eat cookies all day, you eat crackers all day or whatever else, and you want your child to eat healthier, but you don't. You want your family members to eat healthier, but you don't. Like, you're not leading by example to show them that it's okay and that it's possible and that you can thrive in the lifestyle. And here I am 3.5 years into the lifestyle that I lived. And literally, I have supported myself in every way. I had nobody in my life that was in this lifestyle that knew how to support me. So I had to educate myself and do a whole lot of trial and error. And now here I am, and I can say that I'm an expert in the lifestyle. I'm literally a plant-based lifestyle strategist. This name is not just because it's cute. It's because I literally have strategies to support you and getting in the space and supporting you so that you can feel good in this lifestyle, not have to struggle and go through all these obstacles, and not have to sit here and do it alone, but rather have the education that comes easily without you having to have 30,000 tabs open to do all this research and knowledge, for you to not be able to understand what in the world is going on with your ingredients, but rather for you to be able to use various different methods for you to be able to read an ingredient, know what it is, know how to read your labels easily. I can literally go to the grocery store, pick something up, and I can tell 2 different things, the 10 different things that are on there. I can name each one and why it's terrible for you, what it is an additive, it's a food coloring, whatever else. It took time for me to get there, but it started with me getting out of that trial and error phase, because at first I called myself vegan. I was labeled as vegan, eating vegan products, not supporting my body, still sitting here suffering, trying to figure out why I'm still inflamed, why I'm gaining weight, not realizing that soy was not supporting me, and vegan products have a lot of soy in it, have tons of fillers and additives in it, and they're pushing Beyond Meat and Impossible Burgers, which I have never eat any Beyond or Impossible anything, but they're pushing them for a reason. Because yeah, you'll shift from meat and dairy because it's so terrible for you, because it is, but now you're shifting to something that is probably the same amount of bad, or if not worse, than you just eating meat and dairy, because those things have toxins in them. That food that you're categorized as food has toxins, and you are literally making yourself toxic by eating these processed foods that are deemed as vegan, Impossible Burger, and Beyond Meat, and they're putting it in fast food. anything that can be cooked in fast food restaurants and it's 5 minutes or less and they can slap it on the plate and it's hot as all get out is inflammatory and it's making you sick. Stop consuming these companies. If they have chains, if they are not a mom and pop shop, a little store, stop consuming these chain restaurants. They do not care about you. And so it's time for us to shift our mindset and to shift our habits and to stop consuming like animals, because we are what we eat. And so consuming food without question is literally making us stressed. It's stressing out our body, stressing out our mental, and it's literally making our mindsets the I'm trying to think of what it is, but it's making our mindset the enemy. I'm gonna answer your question. I see your question. I just had to get my thought out because I'll forget. You say yes. I've been making sure to process my emotions to pinpoint what I'm feeling and why, and it has helped. It definitely helps when you're in that space. What kind of lifestyle do you have? Excuse me. Normally, do you eat meats? Do you drink dairy? Like, what is this for? Are you just cleansing are you cleansing so that you can go plant-based? Because I know a lot of people do that before they go like vegan or plant-based. I didn't, just because like my thought was just like flip a switch, go into it. But I did do it later on, and if I would have did it in the beginning, it would have fast-tracked my journey. Definitely. I do not eat any seafood. When I say I'm plant-based, for the ones that are on here that does not understand, I do not eat any meat. I do not eat any dairy. I don't eat seafood. I don't consume anything that has any toxic ingredients inside of it that is not going to support my body. I literally try to focus on eating a rainbow plate so I can get all the nutrients that I need. I sit here and I try to do resets and cleanses as often as I can, without tinctures, without any supplements, without any type of medications. And I'm not saying that you can't take supplements or tinctures, because I have tinctures for energy, but I don't have to take it. I have herbs literally sitting right here, and I use that for when I'm having, like, I'm close to my cycle or things like that, just to make sure that I'm set and I'm okay and I'm not going to be in pain. But you have to understand that these things are something to add on to you already being healthy. So if you are not healthy, if you do not consume like you need to be, if you don't eat fruits and vegetables, there's no supplement, there's no medication, there's no tincture that is going to be as effective as you taking care of yourself. Thank you so much. There is nothing that is going to get you in the health that you want and that you need without you supporting your body through fruits and vegetables and using a cleanse, using a plant-based lifestyle, because that's the only way. But you have to get into the mindset of doing that for yourself first. He said, I'm using herbs and eating plants to cleanse, but I want to be plant-based, so I'm jumping straight in. That's amazing. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. And if you need any support, like I said, like, please feel free to DM me. I have plenty of services if you need any strategies or anything like that. You said I started leaning into it last year by juicing, etc. So I think I'm ready. That is amazing. Yes. That is absolutely amazing. I started with mine necessarily, not necessarily like juicing and cleansing, but I did start mine with like starting to swap out all the things that I loved and snacks and things like that. And I did just find an amazing snack while I was at, not Whole Foods. What is it called? What is that other one called? Sprouts. I was at Sprouts. I found this amazing granola. I have not had granola. When I say I have not had granola, I have not had granola. It's probably since I started going plant-based, because, and when I was working with kids, I would eat a little bit off of their granola that they had, because I was working with kids and, they get snacks and stuff. But when I say, like, I have not had granola to be able to enjoy it, because I've been so weary about all of the things that they do with our food, and granola has so many different additives in it and things, and I just found this granola that does not have any crap in it. And so, like, these are the type of things that, like, if you get with my 6-week program, or you book a one-on-one session with me, and we do a pantry audit for you, or whatever else, because during that 6-week program you do get a pantry audit with me. We do tons of different foundational work, and then on top of that, it's literally me walking you through how to get into the lifestyle of being plant-based, of how I did it, from learning how to use food as your medicine, learning how to use holistic medicine and healing and understanding, doing pantry audits, you learning how to make your own medicines and tinctures, learning how to make your own soaps, bath wash, mouthwash, toothpaste. Literally, I make everything that I use from scratch, because I know how to take care of my body, and I understand the fact that these companies are poisoning me, because you do not need this toothpaste with all these chemicals in it. You do not need this fluoride that they're throwing at you. They're throwing it at you. You do not need that for healthy. Like, you see how white my teeth are? I have not used fluoride since I started this lifestyle. I have not used commercial toothpaste since I started this lifestyle. I have not used commercial mouthwash. I do not buy Listerine. I don't buy any of these companies that have chemicals and these things for me to wash my mouth out and my body or whatever else. I literally use natural products for everything, and I make all of these natural products myself. And it's easy for you to do it too. They're not hard. It's a matter of really getting the base and then using the fragrances that you want. I make my own perfumes, and it's not hard to make your own perfume because perfumes are hormonally imbalancing you. Perfumes are throwing off your hormonal imbalance, and we love to smell good. I love to smell good, but one thing I'm going to do is take care of my body, and your skin absorbs anything within 24 seconds of coming in contact with it. So we have to start questioning, why are we literally exposed to so many chemicals, and why do we keep exposing ourselves to chemicals? Why are we allowing ourselves to breathe in and absorb chemicals through our skin, and we don't have to, especially if we're not outside in the normal air of how toxic it is outside? Why are we doing it to ourselves inside of our own home? You said, I make my own toothpaste as well. I need to work on laundry detergent in my laundry detergent again. See, I don't make laundry detergent. My best friend, she does make like liquid laundry detergent. I use a combination for, like, you know, spots cleaning and like, what is it called? Like to remove oils and stains. That's what it is. I use different like products, but I do not make any liquid dish soap or anything like that. I mean, any liquid detergent or anything like that. I literally just use one product. I try to make it as simple as possible. And I've been doing this lifestyle since I started. Like, that 6 month trial was like, that 6 month period was a trial and error. So I've been in this lifestyle for over 3.5 years. So at least 3 years, I have been making all of my own products. And so I try to make it as simple and as easy as it can be, because I get into spaces where, you know, your soap runs out and you're close to your cycle. You don't want to do anything. You're tired. And so I try to prep and prepare for those kind of moments. I have backups for those kind of moments. I have things in place that are simple for me to do so that I'm supporting myself. I don't use, for instance, like, because there's a bunch of women in here right now, I don't use tampons and pads anymore. I don't use these things that have chemicals in them. If you're using all these commercial brands that you can get on the counter and on the shelves, they are poisoning you. They bleach your tampons and your pads. They bleach these and soak them in chemicals, that they put fragrances on them. Like, that really blows my mind that you are putting a chemical fragrance near your intimate parts. And so we have to sit here and realize that they are literally making us poisoned and toxic, and they're throwing off our hormonal balance. And the same thing with like tissue paper, because I just recently had to start buying the water wipes. I used them before, but like I was still using a tissue, and I have a bidet. I cannot use tissue paper anymore. Like, it just throws me off. And like, from me being in this journey and realizing the signs of how my body is irritated, like, I just kept sitting there, and I was like, every single time I use this, regardless of what kind of toilet paper, I end up being irritated. So I've been using water wipes, and water wipes still don't keep me completely from being irritated. And so it's like, different things like that happen as you go along the process, and you have to shift things, and you have to change things. They have different types of toilet paper that are non-toxic, but I just don't have access to them right now. We are getting like Costco, and we're getting a Sprouts. Like, we're getting different things in my area, but it starts with you wanting a change for yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you don't want to change, if you don't want to shift your health, if you don't want to start questioning everything, if you don't want to reap the benefits of you taking care of your body, none of this is going to matter. Then you're just going to be sitting here, and you're going to go back to your old ways, your old habits, and you're not going to be consciously aware of how to take care of your body and allow your body to heal. You're going to keep doing the things, for instance, of how I wipe myself with toilet paper and I know it's not supporting me. You're going to keep sitting there using that toilet paper that has chemicals. You're going to keep putting bleach on all of your things, putting bleach on your skin, putting bleach in things that should not have bleach. You're going to keep using bleached tampons and pads. But if you want to change for yourself, and you know you deserve better, you're going to start questioning, and you're going to realize the consequences that society has reaped the benefits of, the negative consequences, because there's consequences to every action, negative or positive, but society is reaping the negative consequences because we have a bunch of negative habits. We are literally sitting here not using our, oh my goodness, wait a minute, oh, hold on, it's saying to verify myself, hold on, y'all, this is every live. But we're not questioning enough, and we're not realizing the power of going back to the basics and using plant whole real foods, using plant-based lifestyle as a support for you to holistically heal yourself. You said my area doesn't have any type of Whole Food stores. We have one, but it's not close. That's why I'm like, we're it's not close at all. We're just now getting like BJ's and Costco. Um, I had to go 40 minutes for me to go to Sprouts the other day. They're building a Sprout. Well, they're putting in plans to build a Sprouts near me, but it's not anytime soon. And it's still going to be 20 minutes the other way, versus me going 40 the other direction. So it's like, it's better than 40. They're not the closest. And that's just one of the things that you have to realize. They're going to be sacrifices, and they're going to be moments where you're sitting there like, I don't want to drive 30, I don't want to drive 30 minutes away to go to this place. I don't want to do all these things. But you make that choice because at the end of the day, you're taking care of yourself. You make sure that you know that you don't have anything else to do today, because you know that if you're going to go grocery shopping, you're going to have all these things to do, and you make sure that you prep in advance, because that's why I said I try to make it as easy as possible for myself. So I know, for instance, when I have high energy times in my month, before my cycle, I use that time to grocery shop, prepare everything that I need to do for my life, and to make sure that everything is set. So when I get to those low energy times that I don't want to do anything, I don't want to clean, I don't want to fix anything, I don't want to go to the store, I don't have to. Because this lifestyle is about you setting yourself up for success and preparing. And it doesn't become a thing where you're always thinking about what you have to do and how you prepare, but rather it becomes a subconscious thought that your body just starts to do the things that it needs to do around that time. Because a year in, I'm fighting having to have a system. I was fighting doing these things regularly, and it was making it harder on myself. But the faster that I started a foundation of me having a stable schedule of doing it, and this is just subconsciously, I do have a like physical calendar schedule kind of thing, but like I don't have to write down anymore when I'm going to Costco. I don't have to write down when I need to go for a high energy time, because I know how to use my body's natural design to function, to support myself. And I had to get in that mind space first. So that's why I say that if you want to shift your lifestyle and you want to change and you want to understand how to get into the space, that masterclass on June 23rd is going to support you in doing that. If you want to learn, you said you want to learn how to make soaps and tinctures, and you are already at the space where you want to become plant-based and you're doing all the steps that you need to, you could already be ready to qualify for my 6-week program. It is a sign up, and you would have a like a 15-minute call with me just to make sure that everything would be where it needs to be, and like if it would support you, because it is it's a, what is it, a 4-figure investment. It's at $1,500 for the first 3 people that get in. After that, it's going to be raised, but after the first three people that get in at $1,500, you literally get to work with me one-on-one, get accountability, get structures, and I walk you through how exactly to go into the lifestyle and how exactly to make your soaps, make your tinctures, make everything that you need, that you possibly could need in this lifestyle, and that I use on a regular basis. Whether it's your mouthwash, your toothpaste, your soaps, whatever it is, your laundry detergent, we sit there and make all of it. And I'm not saying you make one or the other and you choose. I literally show you how I live this lifestyle, how I'm non-toxic in my life, and I do not have to buy any of the crap that they have in the stores. And when I do buy things, it's a whole lot of essential oils. I buy a whole lot of essential oils. Like, that's the main thing, is like I buy a whole lot of essential oils, because those are your smell goods. And you have to realize that you're gonna have to invest in yourself and your education if you want to excel and if you want to be healthy as you need to be. Because going into 2025 all the way up until the 2030, because between 2025 and 2030, that's when they're starting their agenda. The 2030 agenda is starting in 2025. They've already been implementing little things, but there is a point and there's a reason between the 2030 agenda and the 2040 agenda. These projects that they're implementing are designed to make things worse. It's going to get more stressful. People are going to be more sick. And you know what's going to be a lack of access? Doctors and prescriptions. These doctors are already overworked. They're going to be having a shortage of nurses more than what they did in 2020. And so you have to sit here and realize the fact that, like, if we go through another pandemic, like they've already said that we might, by the time it's, in between 2026, 2027, whatever year they were saying and projecting, if we go through another illness or disease like we did in 2020, what do you think is going to happen if we were already having struggles when it comes to doctors and nurses and shortages of prescriptions? People were freaking out. Nobody could go to the hospital unless you literally had a life-threatening emergency. And even then, they were making you wait for hours on end in your car. If we have something else show up and happen, and it hasn't even been another 10 years, and we haven't implemented anything to change, all we've done is given a shot. All we've done is given people prescriptions. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think you're going to have your doctor accessible? Do you think you're going to have somebody that's going to support you? Do you think you're going to be able to heal it? Or do you think these people are going to be like, are you going to have the surgery or not? And they're going to turn you away when you don't want to. Because that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to slap you with a bill, tell you you need to have a surgery, and they're going to say, are you going to do it or not? What's going to happen if your insurance company decides to drop you because you have not been taking care of your body the way that they should view you should be? Or maybe you're not eating the way that they view that you should be. Or maybe you developed a disease that they can't cover you for. What do you think is going to happen? So it's like you have to prepare for the worst, because there is no security with what they give you. There is no security with what they're doing. There is no security, just like you have no job security nowadays. There's no security with your health, because you're not even literally, like I said, setting boundaries and stabilizing your own health. So why do you think these companies, these people who do not care about you, are going to? Why do you think they're going to support you? How do you think they're going to support you? How do you think they're going to be there for you? It's not possible. It's literally, it's you sitting here and being delusional. We love to be delulu. We love a good delulu situation. But we don't realize that delusion should come from the fact that you have sown the seeds for you to be able to detach from the outcome, because you know the outcome is going to positively affect you. Not from you having to sit here and disassociate because you cannot handle what's going on in life. Not from you having to disassociate because you literally cannot function at the proper capacity that you are allowed and designed to do. But in reality, it's because you're so malnourished, you literally cannot be here. So you have to disassociate every single day to cope, because that's a coping mechanism. But rather, we should be delulu in the space that we can detach, because we know we have sown the seeds for us to be healthy. We know that we're taking care of our body. We know how to take care of our body. We know that we can release and reset if we have to. All of these things are either, like I said, positive or negative consequences. You can be positively delulu, or you can be negatively delulu. And a lot of society is negatively delulu. You see, because we are consuming like animals. Y'all are consuming like animals. When are you going to stop? When are you going to start questioning things? When are you going to start realizing the fact that, like, regardless of how many studies they come out with, at the end of the day, if they are telling you to eat a GMO, they're lying to you when they tell you that it's healthy. Because there are some studies that I have just literally looked at. You said I started organic, but it's way too expensive, so I started juicing and cutting out milk and sugar or something. I eat all organic produce, and I, like, when I tell you that, like, not eating meat, not eating dairy, I save more money than what I did when I was eating meat and dairy and eating out and just eating the lifestyle that I was. The people that's why I help you do, because the people that say that it's more expensive, they just don't know how to plan correctly. They don't know how to use basically just use the produce to their good. Rather, it's like they're trying to supplement the fact that, like, eating fruits and vegetables and combining it with meat, I save. I save. And then on top of that, like, because people who complain about buying so much produce, and they complain about the fact that, like, they have to buy a whole bunch of produce and it goes bad, and then, they're wasting food. They don't know how to properly prepare it, and we're not taught those things. And so that's why I say that, like, if you want to shift and you want to live this lifestyle the way that I do, because I'm not struggling, I'm not sitting here suffering, I'm not hating this lifestyle, I truly love it, and I will not go back to the lifestyle. It starts with you educating yourself, whether it's you doing your own research and educating yourself and doing hours on end of research, years on end of research, or come and work with me, because I can support you in shifting and help you. But it's about, what do you want and how are you going to take action? Because that's why I said that, like, it's not more expensive. It's more expensive if you're going to buy juices instead of juicing yourself. It's more expensive if you buy tinctures and you don't learn how to do tinctures yourself. You're going to have to invest in yourself. Like, I invested in a tincture making machine just because it's easier for me. But there are ways for you to make tinctures without you having a tincture machine. There are ways for you to, you could start growing your own garden if you have the time to do that. If you have, because I want a greenhouse and it's in the works, but, like, if you have the time and the patience and you can find you a good organic tree that's already been grown for a couple of years, so then it can start producing faster than later, those are things that you can do for yourself. You can also go and you can buy bulk at, like, Costco and things like that. There are so many different alternatives that can support you to be in this lifestyle and to stay in this lifestyle, but it's just about you knowing and becoming aware, because we're not taught these things. Like I said, that whole first year was trial and error for me, and I had to understand. And so through me sitting here and realizing how to shift my health and realizing the fact that, like, I was so unstable with the habits that I had, and it was started with how I was taught and how I was programmed when it came to peers, society, and family members, habits that have been passed down. My mental clarity literally shot through the roof when I changed my habits. Like, my mental stability shot through the roof. My energy levels, they boosted like no other. I don't drink coffee. I have, like I said, I have an energy tincture that like I made over a year ago. And like, only reason why I made it was because I was going to Vegas, and I did not want to be tired. And I was like, I know we're gonna be walking a lot. It might have been hot, which it was not even that hot. But like, I don't use any of these other things that have to be supplemented in for people that need coffee, that need supplements for iron, they need supplements for B12, they need supplements for different things like magnesium. I don't need any of these things, and I'm healthy. And it's all because I know how to support my body. I use real whole foods. I use nutrients to support myself. And I still snack. I still enjoy the food that I like. I just don't eat crap. I don't eat these toxic chemicals. I sit here and take care of my body because my body deserves to be taken care of. I love myself, and I show that through how I consume, whether it's internally or externally. And so I know a lot of people can look in the mirror and they say, I love myself, but what are you doing to show yourself love? Because love is an action. You use words to say you love, and you use words all the time, but we all know, because when you're in a relationship and you're like, but he just doesn't act like it. Okay, so how do you act like it? How do you show yourself love? Because how do you want somebody else to show you love, but you can't show yourself love? Love is an action word. I don't know how to cook. Funny enough, neither did my best friend. And I got her to be plant-based within like 2 times of cooking with her. It's not as difficult as it seems. My best friend did not know how to cook either. She came from a household where she hated her mom's cooking. She would eat it, but she did not like it. I would go over to her house and visit, and she literally would apologize every single time we got ready to go to dinner, because when she came to my house, she is I don't really know if this needs to be said, but I'm black. That's what I'd say. I'm not going to expose her, but I'd say is that she hated her mom's cooking, so she would apologize. She would come to my house and just rave and just be like, I don't understand, like, why can't we do this at our house? So when I went to her house, because it's my best friend, she's been my best friend all my life, I show her, like, especially when I started cooking, because I used to eat out a lot, but since going plant-based, I cook a lot. I started cooking and showing her the different things that I started making as I had been plant-based. I had been plant-based for like at least a year and a half, if not 2, since when I showed her. And she was like, that's it? I was like, that's it. I'm like, it's super easy. I showed her all my easy, quick recipes. I showed her my like longer, fun, delicious, like home cooked meal, those feel good recipes. And so now, and we share a cookbook, because I shared the cookbook with her. And now, like, she cooks the things that I have in the cookbook. And she even made one of the recipes before I did that I had saved. And she put me onto it and how good it was. And it's all because, like, it's not as hard as you think. It's not as hard as you think at all. You just have to have the preparation. You just have to have the recipes. You just have to have the help. And you just have to literally just get the creativity, because that's just what it is. Since I've lived in this lifestyle, the creativity that I've gained is absolutely amazing. Like, I used to be a creative being when it came to like drawing and coloring and everything else, and like painting. I love creating things when it comes to like art. But food in the kitchen, like, I literally can sit and be like, what do I have, and like, what am I gonna eat? Sit there and think, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and think of a meal and just make it from scratch. Like, since on Tuesday I knew that I was gonna want to eat something and not just eat like fruits of like, blueberries, strawberries, or whatever else. I knew I was gonna want to eat something. You know what I did? I sat in there and I knew that spaghetti squash, you can make like actual pasta. I've seen my niece do it, and I was like, I bet you can eat this raw. So I took my fork and I ate it out a little bit, and I was tasting it, because I know that you can eat the seeds and things, but I didn't know how the spaghetti squash tasted raw. It was not bad for me at all. It tasted pretty good. And so I was sitting there and I was thinking, like, okay, it's like anything else. It just needs some seasoning. So I was like, what seasonings am I gonna throw in here? Threw me some seasonings in there, and then was like, it's missing a little something. Let me put some hot sauce in here. Set it off. I threw in there the spaghetti squash. I scraped it all out, put it in a bowl. I put avocado on top. I put my seeds with it, and this is all raw. And then I threw some various other things, like I threw some peppers on there or whatever else, all raw. And I seasoned it, and I tore it up. And then on top of that, like, I had enough for 2 meals. And like, I was sitting there and I was thinking, and I was like, just thinking about the fact how good that was. And it was on the spur of the moment of me thinking, like, what am I going to eat tonight? Because I know I'm going to want something that's like actually filling and full, rather than me just sitting here eating fruits. Because yes, fruits will get you full, but you have to eat a certain amount. And then on top of that, like, after I eat so many fruits, like, I didn't want to be eating late, basically. I was already eating at like almost 9 o'clock. And hey, wake up. Sorry, my dog, she started making noises in her sleep. Yeah, but after, like, it's 9 o'clock. I don't want to be sitting here at 12 and get hungry again and have to eat at 12 o'clock. So I ate that spaghetti squash and it was delicious. And not only was I full for the rest of the night, but I had leftovers. And so it's just about the fact that, like, you just have, it's trial and error, and it's about you getting in that space. Because I wasn't in the beginning just whipping up new recipes. In the beginning, I wasn't just making new foods. It took time. And then when I got to that space of me doing it, I was like, this is easy. It's super easy. And I passed the knowledge alone. And I'm going to keep educating people and passing that knowledge along. And so, like I said, like, I have various products and services that will support you if you're ready to get into the space of, shifting already. If you're already in that mindset and you want that for yourself, and you just like, you know what, I could just book a one-on-one. Stop. If I just want to book a one-on-one. She's so extra. I just want to book a one-on-one with you. Maybe you're like, I'm ready for that program. I need that step-by-step, the accountability to walk through and to walk with you and just to do it and work with you. That can support you too. And for everybody that's still in here, I'm taking questions now. Oh, I dropped that. If you have any questions, that was so loud. What, dog? If you have any questions, I'll take questions. She's so needy. I'll take all the questions that y'all have. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. And then whatever I have, if I have a product or a service that I can support you with, I will refer you to that. But like I said, all of my links for to work with me are, they're in my Instagram, they're on my Facebook, and they're in my YouTube bio. And if you are not subscribed to my YouTube, you need to go ahead and do that, because I have tons of free help on there, and I post all of my lives on YouTube. So I'm going to stay on here for about like a minute or two longer to answer questions, and then I am gonna go grab me something to eat so I can get up out of the house, because the Sabbath is coming. So I do celebrate the Sabbath and I stay at home, so I want to get out while I can. And I'm kind of hungry. Like, I'm not too hungry, but I want some juice. And so yeah, I do want some juice. I'm really thinking about some blueberries and some oh, they have no name. That's interesting. I've never seen a profile with no name like that. I do want some juice, and I want some blueberries, and I'm thinking about some almond butter, and I love the combo, or maybe some peanut butter. I think I want some peanut butter. Because like I said, I've been doing the exception of like having nuts, and like, I love the combo. What do you want? I forgot to wash my strawberries, so I'm so sad about that. I said I was going to do that today, but it's like, about the time that they soak and everything else, I'm already going to want to be out of the house, so I'm just going to wait until I get back and wash them. Because I love some strawberries and some dates. That's like chocolate covered strawberries, but healthy. And they're so delicious. I love dates by themselves. I love them with different things. You're so needy. You didn't even want anything. You're so needy. I'm not seeing any questions, so I guess you guys don't have any questions. If you have any questions after I get off, if you have any questions after I get off, don't feel free. Do not hesitate to DM me, or to, leave a comment. If you're on YouTube, you can leave a comment in the video. Whatever it is, I will answer to the best of my ability. And like I said, if I have a product or a service that I can refer you to, I will send you the link for it. If you want the link to the masterclass and you want to DM me, you don't have to look for it. I mean, if you want me to DM it to you, you don't want to look for it. DM me now so I do not forget, and I will respond, and I will send it to you so you have it. If you have any questions, like I said, my DMs are always open, and I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day. And I truly hope this live has supported you in understanding how we are what we eat. So we have to stop consuming like a bunch of animals, and we have to start consuming like people. But yeah, you're an animal. You're an animal. You're a doggo. She's a doggo. She's so silly. All right, bye, y'all. Y'all have a great